Hello everyone, my name is Ryan De La Cruz and I am the Director of Business Development here at Ecom-Energy. In today's episode, we're concluding our 5-part mini-series on energy procurement by looking at life after contract execution. If this is your first time joining us for an episode of Making Energy Make Sense, we're so glad you're here. You can find more insightful content like this over on our website, Ecom-Energy.com, or just search for Ecom-Energy on YouTube or your favorite podcasting app. A final note before we get started, you can hear more about our team's own experience with energy procurement at the beginning of episode 1. Now, here is Mastering Energy Procurement episode number 5, Smart Contract Management. Let's start off by addressing the obvious. Unless you're an energy manager, chances are you're not thinking about your current energy contracts on a day-to-day basis. I mean, let's face it, if you're 1 year into a 3-year deal, there doesn't seem to be much to think about in the interim. And you'd be right. Kind of. There is certainly less thinking required than when you're getting under contract to begin with, but that doesn't mean you should forget about your energy deals entirely. Let's explore some classic reasons why. First, you need to keep an eye on energy use. If you fixed a portion of your energy requirements, the supplier has hedged those volumes specifically for your facilities based on the 12-month usage information you told them about. Oftentimes, this usage is allowed to fluctuate within a certain range. This is usually called usage tolerance or bandwidth or swing. The greater the tolerance, the greater premium you likely paid. If you begin to creep outside that tolerance, there may be consequences. For example, if you're using too much energy, the supplier has to generate more energy to serve you. If the market has ticked up since your contract was executed, you'll be paying extra and essentially suffering a penalty for using too much energy. Conversely, if you used less than your allotment, that extra energy will be sold into the market, and though you might get a credit back, you're unlikely to be made whole. You'd have been better off just nominating the correct volumes in the first place. So what do we know? Keep an eye on use and inform suppliers in advance when you know you're going to use more or less energy than you agreed to. This will allow suppliers to accommodate your needs and minimize any financial consequences. A second reason to avoid relaxation after contract execution is to ensure your accounts stay current. Let's be honest, when cash flow is a concern for an organization, energy bills aren't always the first things to get paid. This is a problem as our team at Ecom-Energy has seen suppliers increasingly enact or threaten adequate assurance clauses in their contract. Unless these clauses were negotiated well, it's highly likely that the supplier has essentially a blank check to request an enormous sum of funds in a short period of time, usually a week or so, to serve as cash collateral when you don't pay. So, staying on your accounts payable department to ensure your suppliers receive funds in a timely manner is essential. As a quick tidbit, suppliers will sometimes increase net payment terms for a small premium on your energy price. This is worth exploring if your organization cannot meet the existing payment terms consistently. Moving on. A third reason to stay abreast of your energy contracts is looking for blend and extend opportunities. Under a blend and extend, you agree to extend your existing agreement with your energy supplier in exchange for the supplier blending a new market low into your existing price. You benefit from some immediate savings by capturing a market dip, while the supplier benefits from a longer contract. While this sounds like a neat opportunity, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Typically, a blend and extend is a short-term play when short-term savings are urgently needed. The long-term play gets overlooked, as it may often make more sense to lock in a new, separate deal and avoid blending the two prices together. Nevertheless, this is certainly a discussion worth having and one that is made possible by keeping a watchful eye on energy markets throughout your contracts. The fourth and final reason we'll mention in today's episode goes back to previous comments we've made throughout this mini-series about starting early. You know, so often a new customer will come to us for energy procurement and their existing third-party supply contracts are about to expire, leaving us little room to help. This can happen for two main reasons. First, if the facility is managing their own procurement and not using a consultant, they simply are too busy managing the facility and tackling other projects to worry about a contract that technically still has a few weeks before expiration. The urgency just doesn't seem to be there yet. Second, if the facility does have an energy consultant, that consultant may plan to renew the contracts with the same supplier and therefore doesn't need a ton of time to lock them into a new deal before the existing contract expires. As you know by now, this is absolutely something you want to avoid for a successful energy procurement. By keeping an eye on your energy contracts, you'll be cognizant of upcoming expirations so that you can get a jump start on the next ones. And if you have a consultant, you can see just how quote-unquote on it they are. Are they keeping you updated and reaching out to you to discuss your next RFP ahead of time? It's a good idea to request quarterly updates from your consultant to stay in communication, ensure they're earning their money's worth, and see how the contract is performing against expectations. To summarize, what do we know? First, keep a watchful eye on usage to ensure you stay within your contracted allowances. Second, ensure accounts payable does not fall behind and give your supplier an excuse to activate their adequate assurance clause. Third, if your team is looking for short-term savings, watching your contracts in the market will reveal possible blend and extend opportunities. Fourth, staying cognizant of your contract expirations helps set you up for success in your next procurement and keeps your consultant accountable. And that does it. We hope you found our Mastering Energy Procurement mini-series valuable. Be sure to stay in touch for more content just like this in the near future. For questions or comments about today's material, shoot us an email at info@ecom-energy.com or head on over to our website to learn more about our full suite of energy consulting services. If you enjoyed what you heard, we'd appreciate it if you could like and share this content with your colleagues on LinkedIn. I'm Ryan De La Cruz, and this has been another Making Energy Make Sense episode from Ecom-Energy.